We might be the worst team in Manchester United's history. Ruben Amorim's bitter words echoed through Old Trafford on a day meant to celebrate the legacy of Denis Law and the rich history of the Red Devils. Surrounded by legends who once brought unparalleled success to United, this occasion should have been a showcase of pride, passion, and the relentless fighting spirit that the famous red shirt demands. Yet, after 90 minutes, all that remained was a crushing sense of disappointment enveloping the theatre of dreams. The Portuguese manager, visibly disheartened, could hardly mask his frustration with the lifeless performance of his players. This was not the Manchester United of old. No fire, no determination, no identity. Amorim knows that drastic action is needed to salvage the season. With the January transfer window still open, it seems inevitable that the manager will embark on a squad overhaul to rescue his team before it's too late. The question remains, can United turn their fortunes around? Or are they destined to endure one of the darkest chapters in their storied history? Brighton has long been a thorn in Manchester United's side, consistently finding ways to secure victories against the Red Devils, whether at the Amex or the Theatre of Dreams. So, when Ruben Amorim's side succumbed to a 1-3 defeat, few were genuinely surprised by the result, even if the performance itself left much to be desired. Heading into 2025, United's unbeaten run had sparked cautious optimism among fans. But their latest capitulation to the Seagulls served as a stark reminder that they remain far from their former glory. Instead of a statement performance, the Red Devils offered a display riddled with defensive errors, a lack of fighting spirit, and an all-too-familiar fragility in key moments. Brighton exposed United's vulnerabilities with ease. Noussair Mazraoui, drained of energy, was thoroughly outclassed by the dynamic Kaoru Mitoma, who ran him ragged down the flank. Meanwhile, Manuel Ugarte and Kobbie Mainoo failed to establish control in midfield, leaving the team's structure in disarray. As for Andre Onana, his goalkeeping errors continue to baffle and frustrate in equal measure, as he once again found himself at the centre of calamity. The dejected expressions of Ruben Amorim and his players after conceding Brighton's third goal perfectly illustrated just how poor Manchester United's performance was. While a packed fixture schedule might account for some of the fatigue, there's no justifying such an underwhelming display, especially on a day meant to honour club legend Denis Law. With iconic figures from United's illustrious past present in the stands, the current squad failed to live up to the occasion. In the post-match interview, Amorim delivered a brutally honest assessment. We might be the worst team in Manchester United's history. The entire team needs to accept that and work towards change. Despite the dire circumstances, the manager emphasised the importance of moving forward, redirecting focus to their Europa League fixture. Our best response is to win the next match. Every game from now on is an opportunity to improve. As I've said, the situation is tough, but we must fight to turn things around and get back to winning ways. The Portuguese tactician didn't mince his words, openly admitting that the current Manchester United squad, under his leadership, might be the worst in the club's history. Adding to the disappointment, United recently set a grim milestone by recording the fastest 10 defeats in Premier League history. Amorim also extended an apology to the fans, acknowledging that as a new manager, he has already suffered more losses than his predecessor. Known for his honesty and resilience, the former Sporting Lisbon boss has never shied away from responsibility. When the team loses, I stand up and take accountability. The focus now is on bouncing back as quickly as possible by evaluating every player's performance and making the right adjustments. However, despite the series of crushing defeats, Amorim made it clear that his philosophy remains unchanged. I will not abandon the philosophy I've chosen, no matter what. I know this team has the potential to succeed, but we need to survive this difficult period. I'm not naive about what's happening, but the most important thing is for the entire squad to get through this and rise again as quickly as possible. There's no question that Ruben Amorim will stick with his signature 3 at the back system. But now is the time for the Portuguese manager to evaluate whether every position is being fulfilled effectively. The first to come under scrutiny is Andre Onana, who has drawn heavy criticism after Sunday's dismal performance. The Cameroonian keeper's inconsistency continues to be a glaring issue. His amateurish handling gifted Brighton a goal, while his trademark confidence and ball-playing ability appear to have all but vanished. Even his strongest asset, distribution, was alarmingly poor, with inaccurate passes routinely ceding possession back to Brighton. As a result, Onana's place in the starting wing could now be in jeopardy. Waiting in the wings is Altay Bayindir, who impressed in United's FA Cup victory over Arsenal in the third round. The former Fenerbahce goalkeeper may not be a standout name, but in the current circumstances, Amorim is likely to give him an opportunity. This would not only serve as a chance for Bayindir to prove himself, but also push Onana to reflect and improve. However, if neither goalkeeper steps up, United may have no choice but to bring in fresh blood during the next transfer window. At Old Trafford, no one's place is guaranteed, and Amorim's willingness to make bold changes will serve as a statement. Accountability and performance are non-negotiable under his leadership. Next on the list of concerns is Noussair Mazraoui. The Moroccan defender appears to be suffering from fatigue after an intense run of games, highlighting a growing issue in Amorim's system. As previously noted, Mazraoui is not a natural fit for the demanding wing-back role, which requires both blistering pace and a seemingly endless energy reserve. While the 1997-born star is undoubtedly a quality player, his physical condition needs to be carefully managed to maintain his performance levels. Diogo Dalot has also failed to impress, despite returning from a suspension. His two attempts to overlap and provide width in attack were ineffective, and playing on the opposite flank has clearly limited his contributions. While the 25-year-old can be a reliable option, he is yet to show the quality required to elevate himself into a standout player who can complete Amorim's tactical setup. In midfield, the partnership of Manuel Ugarte and Kobbie Mainoo has also come under scrutiny, with both players being substituted early in recent matches. This suggests that they are not meeting expectations, especially Mainoo, a graduate of the Carrington Academy. If the 19-year-old fails to improve his performances, a potential sale in the future, regardless of his wage demands, cannot be ruled out. Meanwhile, the attacking line continues to struggle as usual. Joshua Zirkzee has shown promise when coming on as a substitute in the second half, but his performances as a starter remain lackluster. This is a recurring issue for United in recent years, epitomised by the case of Alejandro Garnacho. There was a time when fans openly preferred to see him on the bench, as his impact as a substitute was far more significant than when he started games. Ruben Amorim's goal is clear. He's determined to build a squad where every position is fiercely contested, not one reliant on super subs to save the day. For the Portuguese manager, the starting 11 must be comprised of the most capable players. Those who can step up from the first whistle, not just make an impact off the bench. With 10 days remaining in the winter transfer window, United are expected to be active, with departures likely paving the way for new signings. One name at the centre of speculation is Marcus Rashford. Amorim's blunt explanation following the winger's omission from the squad shed light on his future. "I won't select a player I don't believe is the best fit. Rashford wasn't on the list simply because there were others more deserving." This statement signals a definitive turning point for Rashford's career at Old Trafford. With no reported fitness issues, his exclusion points to a failure to meet the manager's expectations. In Amorim's vision, there's no room for sentiment. Performance is the only currency that matters. Even with the team's current struggles, it appears unlikely that Rashford will reclaim his place, marking the end of an era for the once indispensable forward. The transfer saga surrounding Antony's move to Real Betis is reportedly progressing smoothly, according to journalist Laurie Wooell. If Manchester United greenlight the deal, it could pave the way for a much-needed signing to bolster Ruben Amorim's attack. Whether it's an attacker or a wing-back tailored to fit the 3-4-2-1 formation, reinforcements are clearly on the agenda. Meanwhile, club captain Bruno Fernandes didn't hold back in his post-match remarks, calling out the team's performances and urging those unable to contribute to step aside for fresh faces. I understand the perspective from the outside, but we cannot be comfortable thinking this is okay. It's not. I'm not here to lose games and accept this position. No one in this dressing room should think like that, and if anyone does, they cannot stay here. Fernandes emphasized the need for change, brushing aside the significance of historical rivalries in light of their current struggles. Losing is losing, regardless of the opponent. What needs to change is that this team isn't earning 3 points. Brighton played well and deserved to win. Yes, the entire squad is deeply disappointed. This is not the result we wanted. I think we started poorly, but improved as the game went on. We need to be stronger, believe in ourselves, and improve to restore Manchester United's standing. Sir Jim Ratcliffe surely cannot sit idly by as Manchester United falters so miserably, especially under the watchful eyes of Sir Alex Ferguson and other club legends. The performances from Ruben Amorim's side at the Theatre of Dreams have fallen far short of expectations, and it's clear that swift and decisive changes are needed. Whether it's shaking up the transfer market or making internal adjustments, players who fail to meet the demands of the club must be removed or replaced. Even if United cannot salvage this season, they must lay the foundation for the future rather than endlessly rebuilding with new managers. At the very least, the players must display determination, resilience, and a fighting spirit. Losing to a better organised or stronger opponent is one thing, but a defeat marred by mistake after mistake is unacceptable. The Portuguese manager is expected to make adjustments for the matches against Rangers and Fulham, but ultimately the responsibility lies with the players. Each individual must reflect on their performances if they wish to remain at Old Trafford. If not, they should step aside for new talent capable of taking the club forward. Defeats have become all too familiar for United this season, and the time has come for a radical revolution to chart a new course. If not, the misery endured by fans under Ruben Amorim's tenure will only continue, leaving the Red Devils further adrift from their storied history. It's now or never for United to restore pride at the Theatre of Dreams. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure to hit like and subscribe to support the channel. See you in the next video.